Yeah, yo, what's going on, guys? Seth Spartan here, nutrition, training, and hormone expert, and Prometheus Pro bodybuilder with Prometheus HRT, the world's best testosterone and hormone replacement clinic. Use my code Spartan to either save on testosterone or HGH replacement therapy. Guys, today is the video you've all been waiting for. Today we're going to be talking about Dianabol versus Anadrol, which is better, which is superior, everything you need to know. So let's get started. So Dianabol versus Anadrol. We'll start with Dianabol. So I kept these lists pretty short, sweet, to the point. We're going to talk about the pros, and then we're going to weigh the cons separately. And ultimately, guys, you should have more than enough information to make educated decisions on this. So let's go. So Dianabol, only two pros, okay? Only two pros. Dianabol, 150 to 50 anabolic androgenic ratio. So with the anabolic androgenic ratio, 150 anabolic to 50 androgenic based on the latest research and studies we have available. Dianabol is also a testosterone derivative. So which means that Dianabol, the hormone itself, has been derived from testosterone. So these are the pros with Dianabol. We're going to come back for the cons. Let's talk about Anadrol and the pros of Anadrol. Anadrol, anabolic androgenic ratio of 320 anabolic to 45 androgenic. What does this mean? You know, just comparing the two right away in terms of the anabolic androgenic ratio, Anadrol blows Dianabol out of the water with double, I'll say that again, double the anabolic component that Dianabol has. All right, moving on. DHT derivative. Whereas Dianabol was a testosterone derivative, Anadrol is a DHT dihydrotestosterone derivative anabolic steroid. And this, guys, is a step above testosterone because the first oral anabolic steroids were usually testosterone derivatives. DHT would be a second class above that because scientists figured out, hey, if we make it a DHT derivative instead of a testosterone derivative, not only does it have a longer half-life, but it cannot be converted into estrogen. So, in the evolution, testosterone's here and DHT is better. It's higher. It's a further evolved, anabolic steroid. Moving on. Red blood cell count increase. Now, all anabolic steroids, whether it's testosterone or anything else, they all increase red blood cell count a little bit. But Anadrol basically takes the spotlight because it increases red blood cell count higher, quite a bit higher than most anabolic steroids will, especially testosterone. And that's another reason that if you're getting Anadrol, through your clinic, regular doctor, or, depending what country you live in, you can just walk in and get it from the pharmacy. If you're getting Anadrol, you have to make sure that you're getting your red blood cell count checked periodically. Anyways, moving on. Strong fat burning effect. Now, with Dianabol, again, it's a testosterone derivative. You're not going to have that strong fat burning effect that you're going to have with Anadrol. Why? It's a DHT derivative compound, and being a DHT derivative, especially with a very high anabolic component, you're going to get a lot of fat burning effect. Why? Because Anadrol travels through the bloodstream. It's going to attach onto the adipose tissue, onto the basically the fat cells themselves, and adipose tissue normally burns off when DHT has a DHT receptor site, and Anadrol is going to be bonding to that. Testosterone, not so much. That component is not. The anabolic component is a lot lower, and Dianabol has a very, very short half-life. We'll get into that in a second. Okay, so strong fat burning effect. Moving forward, many safety studies. There are tons and tons of safety studies available on Anadrol, Anavar, and testosterone. Those are the three, hold up, four there. Those are the three, most studied anabolic steroids in existence, arguably. Okay, so we have tons and tons of safety studies on Anadrol, Anavar, testosterone, with obviously testosterone being number one. So that's a huge pro to Anadrol. Moving down the chain, Anadrol has a long half-life. Anadrol has a much higher half-life than something like Dianabol. You know, half-life of Anadrol is right around 10, 11 hours for a half-life compared to 3 to 6 hours in the case of Dianabol, which means more fat burning, more muscle building, and again, it does not convert to estrogen. So whereas Dianabol is going to be converted by your body into estrogen, why? Because it's testosterone derivative, Anadrol being a DHT derivative, that just cannot happen. So let's talk about some of the cons with each and then wrap this video up. Again, guys, watch my video on either Anadrol. I did an Anadrol full expert breakdown and also a Dianabol full expert breakdown. Watch my videos on that to get tons more information on each of these individually. We're just doing a comparison video for you guys now. So let's talk about the cons of each and then wrap this video up. So some of the cons with Dianabol. That's a second con. Let's talk about the biggest con with Dianabol. So biggest con with Dianabol, high rates of liver toxicity. Dianabol and Winstrol, let me say that again. Dianabol and Winstrol are the worst oral steroids on the liver ever. They are notorious. They're terrible on the liver. Your body just absolutely hates them. So why? Because, you know, both of these are C17 alkylated steroids. So they're both, technically should be hard on the liver, but Dianabol is just increasingly brutal on the liver. A lot of people, are going to have liver issues if they try to dose up Dianabol. Doctors, endocrinologists know this. So Dianabol, terrible for liver function. That's number one. Number two, converts to estrogen at a very, very high rate. Again, it's a testosterone derivative and not a DHT derivative compound, which means it's going to convert into estrogen. And Dianabol converts straight into, wait for it, estradiol, so into the most potent form of estrogen. So in terms of estrogen size of Dianabol, extremely high. Okay, so short half-life, high estrogen conversion, and it's very toxic on your liver. What else would you want, right? I'm being extremely sarcastic here. And also Dianabol. We have some safety studies on Dianabol. We do have some, but they're not that good, compared to Anadrol or Anavar for that matter. So I guess that's pretty much all the, and again, a negative. Yes, it's more milligram per milligram. Yeah, it's more anabolic than testosterone, but it's really, we have so many better options out there. I'm just going to leave it at that. So we talked about the pros, cons with Dianabol. Let's talk about the cons with Anavar and wrap this video up. So Anadrol. So we talked about all this stuff. Anadrol is a DHT derivative anabolic steroid, right? So it's a DHT derivative. It cannot convert to estrogen. We know this. However, Anadrol does create estrogenic side effects. Now, why? I have seen studies where Anadrol actually binds onto, wait for it, estrogen receptor sites. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Doctors are still confused by this. It's a mystery compound. Anadrol is the great mystery compound. A lot of people, whether it's scientists, doctors, they cannot figure out, why this is. But the fact remains, Anadrol, yes, extremely anabolic, 320 anabolic ratio in turn, to only 45. DHT derivative cannot convert into estrogen. However, it will bind onto estrogen receptor sites and create things like water retention, estrogenic sides. You can type in estrogenic side effects in men and you get a long laundry list. Go ahead and type that into any medical site or into Google and you'll find that. But anyways, Anadrol will bind estrogen sites and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Okay, that's just with Anadrol. Now, a lot of people think Anadrol is extremely liver toxic. Guys, that's a myth. It's just not true. Anadrol, milligram per milligram, probably has the lowest liver toxicity out of pretty much any oral anabolic steroid out there. So you can talk to the physicians at Prometheus HRT about this. That's another reason why Anadrol is available at Prometheus HRT. Tons of short-term safety studies, low liver toxicity, milligram per milligram, and it works. Burns fat, builds muscle, and we have, I already said this, but we have tons of safety studies on it, long half-life. It works. Anadrol is a great oral anabolic steroid. It has some sides, has some problems in terms of long-term use. Watch my video, anabolic steroids, short-term versus long-term, side effects. We're not really going to go through many side effects here. We're just doing a straight to straight comparison video. But other negatives with Anadrol, the red blood cell count increase can be seen as a positive. As long as you're not getting it too high, it's going to greatly increase your vascularity and your pumps. Strong fat burner, long half-life. There's really nothing else to talk about with Anadrol. Guys, if we're making a short, sweet video to the point, I think I've said everything I need to say. So, Dianabol versus Anadrol. Who is the clear-cut winner? None other than Anadrol all day, every day. I want to say this, though, guys. Even though Anadrol is our winner, ding, 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 even though Anadrol is the clear winner, blows Dianabol out of the water. Why? Because it's just a more advanced anabolic steroid on every level. But even though Anadrol blows Dianabol out of the water, I want to make a note and tell you guys that Anavar blows Anadrol out of the water. There is no other anabolic steroid quite like Anavar. Milligram per milligram, it is by far the most potent at building muscle, burning fat. Milligram per milligram, liver toxicity is a little bit higher, but it's still, total liver toxicity is going to be less even with Anavar. Why? Dosages are going to be still lower. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. That's everything you need to know in a simple comparison video. If you want the full scoop, go ahead and watch either Anadrol or Dianabol, individually. I have videos up on that. Anyways, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Check with your doctor before you do anything. Seth Spartan, we are out of here.